When it comes to manifestation, it's a very hot topic, especially when someone is manifesting a certain person. Even though it is often talked about in terms of a specific person, it is much more important to us. Our lives and experiences mostly revolve around this one item. If you fix this one item, everything else works out. If you are a Neville Goddard student, you must have read about self-concept. Also, someone asked me how to change the way you think about yourself. But before we go any further, let's talk about what it is and how we can use it to make the reality the way we want it to be. In simple terms, self-concept is who you are right now, what you are known for in terms of behavior, qualities and talents, facts about yourself, beliefs, feelings, and states of being. We all have different ideas about who we are. Some of us have said that we are introverts, while others have said that they are extroverts. Our identity determines how we act, what we can do, how we feel, what we can't do, and what limits us. If you think of yourself as an introvert and you get invited to a party, you will act very differently. You will try to find reasons to stay home alone. Even if you go to the party, you will stand in the corner and be ready to leave as soon as possible. Introverts are not as excited by big groups as extroverts are. As a result, what you do and what happens in the real reality will be different. You can see that I used the word identified in this example. I did this because no one in this world is born with the identity of being an introvert or an extrovert. You are only an identity and a boy or girl when you are born. Your parents then give you a name. And based on where you were born, you are known by your country, race, religion, and many other things. If you watch a child, you'll see that his environment affects everything about him. His assumptions and beliefs were based on what he thought was true about the outside reality. Later, his beliefs started to work for him, manifesting about the things he has now. It doesn't matter anymore where these ideas and beliefs came from. It's not about judging the people who shaped our early ideas. It's about making a new set of ideas. Neville Goddard says that we don't have to try to change the world, but we need to change how we think about ourselves. When we do this, our world shows us right away what we think about ourselves. You are a person, not an animal born with a set of rules that you can't change. And by being, I mean that you can choose your state of being. I think you now have a better idea of what self means. I also feel that our lives are built on how we see ourselves. And I'll explain why, since while some channels may advise you to focus just on your unique person, I don't quite agree with them. Because a person's self-concept corrects any false ideas about them right away. If you want to be with someone, you have to change how you feel about yourself first. When you say or show that you are a single person, you are doing it wrong. You have to show that you are already in a happy, healthy, and committed relationship. When you look at yourself through this lens, your whole view of life and how you act and feel change right away. You'll start to think of them as your partner, and your ideas about them will change. And this all shows up in your physical reality. So I feel you should put most of your attention on changing your self-identity or self-concept rather than on changing yourself as a person. Because changing the assumptions of your individual self would be automatic. This is now possible in every case. If you want to manifest money come to you, you have to see yourself as rich. When you start to think of yourself as this person, things start to change. You no longer have to ask for money. As you change your identity, it will follow suit. If you keep this identity for a certain amount of time and stay focused on it, you don't have to forget who you are and become conscious of your inner dialogue. All of this happens easily when our idea of ourselves matches what we want our lives to be like. Now that you understand how important self-concept is, the first question that comes to mind is, how can I change my self-concept? I'd like to talk about two of them that have helped me a lot when I'm trying to make something happen on purpose. The first is a guided meditation, which I really enjoy when it comes to the idea of parallel universes moving. These are the kinds of meditations that can help you quickly change from one state to another. In my earlier videos, I talked about how it feels to take it easy. In short, you can unwind by lying down or sitting in a chair. Then visualize yourself in a desire where you already have what you want. Then you have to look in the mirror and see the version of yourself who already has what she wants. Then you change your position while keeping your hand in front of the mirror. After you do that, that version of you wakes up and goes about your business. These guided meditations were important because they helped me move into that reality right away. The second item that helps me shift right away is listening to sleep affirmations while I fall asleep. You can find them on YouTube or make your own. Affirmations to help you sleep are a big deal. Our bodies and minds are set up to follow patterns, so at first it seems strange. When we change this pattern, our bodies and minds start to fight against the change. Our bodies do this by keeping us awake at night and accidentally pausing the tapes while we sleep, which is uncomfortable for the first few days. But if we stick to them and keep doing them by listening to them, it becomes easier for us to stay in a certain state while we're awake. As long as we stay in this changed state of being, our assumptions get stronger, and this state of being shows up in our outside reality. These two things have always been very helpful to me in changing how I see myself so that I can move right into my desired reality. You can also give it a try. If it makes you feel uncomfortable at first, that's a good sign that something is fighting against this new way of thought. If you keep doing it though, it will change how you see yourself. I've talked a lot about keeping a wish fulfillment state. Also, if you know what Neville Goddard teaches, you know that persistence is the key to manifesting, but I see a lot of people making the same mistake. I've had similar things happen to me, and I'll talk more about them in my video today. If you think or say things like, "I know it will happen," then it will happen. I hope it will work. I'd like to have X, Y, and Z right now, but I don't. I know that most people in this world live with the hope that tomorrow will be better, which is fine. But when you're manifesting, there's nothing to hope for. It will either happen or it won't. When you give yourself what you want, you've made it happen. Internally. When you're happy about something, it shows up. It happens when you know what is going on. Manifestation happens when your assumption that you have that desire is stronger than your doubts about it. Manifestation happens when you have faith in yourself. It happens when you don't pay attention to the real reality. This happens when you use your imagination and live as if it were real. If you say it will happen, however, you are living in a world where it will happen but hasn't yet. When you wait for your desire to come true, you are not still in a state where you want that. Once you start living inside with the feeling of wanting it and don't care about what's going on outside, nothing can stop it from coming to you. The outside world, or the world around you, can't give you anything. It's just a mirror of your mind or inner world. It depends on what you think and how you feel inside. Your imagination is the only thing that can help you choose your experience. The only thing that makes you different from a machine is that you can see and choose something that has nothing to do with your past. On the other hand, the machine is programmed with information from the past. It keeps a record of past events, which it uses to make decisions. If you act based on what you've always done, you're just like a machine. But if you use your imagination, you can change your fate. If you focus really hard on something in your mind, you can make it happen in the real world. When I consciously manifest, I always focus on changing my internal world, self-concepts, and identity. Right now, I don't care what I've come to think of myself as, but I'm changing it by constantly using my inner abilities to embody a different state of being than my existing state of being. It's always a game of changing what you connect with on the inside, and when you do that, the outside world changes to fit your identity, which changes over time. But if you want to manifest something specific into your life, you must see yourself as that thing or person. People often do things. They fail when they don't change their inner beliefs. That's why so many people don't stick to their diet and exercise plans and don't see results in their bodies. It happens because they still see themselves through the lens of their current situation. Even if they lose weight, it comes back quickly. The same goes for everything else in your life, like your job, your relationships, etc. Stop identifying yourself with the things that are holding you back right now. Also, don't spend your life hoping to get what you want. Live as if